All right, we're officially here. I'm so excited for the Oogie Boogie Bash. Unfortunately, we didn't get costumes because he ran out of time, but you know who came through? Walmart.
Our shirts are jacked up.
Yep, so I can't wait to get in there and see the different desserts that they have and watch the parade. What are you excited about?
I'm excited about trying some treats. You know, I'm not much of a parade guy, but let's see what Oogie Booger has to offer.
Let's go.
Hey, good job, guys. Have a good night, okay?
Ooh, okay, let's do another one over here. Like a montage, you know?
Dang.
Yeah, glows in the dark.
Looks like a swap meet. All right, what other swap meet shirts they got? What?
It's only the Oogie Boogie Bash.
Very cool. Is this Oogie Boogie? I'm not familiar.
Yeah, my love. You've seen Nightmare Before Christmas. Stop acting like a fool. This is, I think, my favorite so far.
How much are these shirts? Wow.
Not enough.
What? Dang, you're geared up.
I think these are like officially my first pair of Mickey ears.
Well, you went all in. It's official. We're all checked in for Oogie Boogie.
And we officially got our trick-or-treating bags.
They're making us work for it.
So we're hitting up our first trick-or-treat spot. It's called Yokai Treat Trail. Yokai, fun fact, means demon in Japanese.
Ooh, very interesting. And the line is extremely long.
Yes.
Do you know what kind of candy they give out?
I have no idea.
It better be king size for this line.
I don't think that's going to be the case.
If I get a bite-sized candy, this might be my last trick-or-treat line.
Midline review. I'm giving this a 6 because it's long, but it's really fast. These Wednesdays over here said it's only been about 7 minutes and we're almost to the front.
And I saw what they're giving out for candy. We're going to be very disappointed.
Wait, but you get 3 pieces.
Oh my goodness. I'm giving this a 3. I've never in my life waited in line to get a snack-sized candy. Typically, you go to someone's front door and you just say 3 words. They give you candy to get off their property. But now we're waiting in line for like at least 10 minutes.
But the experience is worth it.
What's the experience? What's unique about going to Disneyland and waiting in a line? I'd rather spend my time waiting for Rise of the Resistance.
No. It's going to be worth it. I think there's something going on over there. Oh, thank you. Oh, sorry. Thank you.
That's less than a snack size.
I got an E for your name too.
Yeah, you got to eat for everyone just got played for their time.
Got a C. I just really don't like Twix. There's going to be some trading of candy happening later. Just double fisting over here.
Dang, okay. You've gotten candy from 2 of the 3 spots.
Okay, you were complaining that there were small snack size, but they give you a ton. But I think this is mine because there's fruit snacks in this one. Goldfish. We're getting hooked up.
Now we're about 90% done with the line. Have you gone up from the 6?
Yes, new line review 10 because we're getting hooked up.
They're giving us carrots?
See, nutritional. Disney really cares about you.
They don't even want to go in the bag. Is it embarrassing to hand out carrots right now or what?
Thank you so much.
What is this?
Goldfish.
Dang, I'm going to sell this on eBay. So where are we going now?
So next we're going to Villains Grove. I don't even know what to expect. So let's go find this out together.
So unfortunately, the Village Grove was not open just yet, but we do have some people waiting in line for us. So what are we going to do until that opens?
We're going to get the poison apple churro. We heard it's the thing to get. So we're definitely excited to try that. And we're getting close.
Okay, I can smell it.
All right, guys. So we have the poison apple churro here, and it has a strawberry filling over it. And I believe it's a different color of the cinnamon that they normally use for churros. So let's take a quick bite.
All right, let's do it. It's supposed to look like blood.
Mm-hmm.
Does it taste like blood?
No, it does not taste like blood, thank goodness. I like it. I think it's pretty tasty. I'm not usually one that loves filling on top of my desserts, but it's not overpowering. So to me, I'm gonna give this about a 6 out of 10. I probably won't get it again. I'd rather just get a normal churro, but it's pretty good. Strawberry is really nice and like thick, but it's not super overpowering because they don't put a ton on, even though it kind of looks like it is.
One more little peek for you of this poison apple churro.
I think he's gonna give it more than 6. Let's see. Are the results in?
It tastes exactly like Apple Jacks, the cereal, which I'm not like the biggest fan of. However, I do enjoy it. I would say it's well-rounded. I don't really like stuff on my churros necessarily. I do like it inside of the churro. However, very delicious. Probably wouldn't get it again. But if you're a fan of Apple Jacks, you like cinnamon, caramel apples, things like that, I think you'll really enjoy it. I'm gonna give it a 6.4.
Wow.
See if I can eat it all in one bite.
Oh no.
So just to kind of go over the Village Grove, because as we're in there, there's tons of music. It's going to be very hard for me to include that audio. But as you walk in, the first thing that I remember seeing was like a rock that was breaking open.
Yeah, with all the vines crawling up.
Yeah, that was pretty intense. Then after that, there was the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland.
Love that.
Which I believe most of this is kind of influenced by Alice in Wonderland, I would imagine.
Well, yeah, because after that, we saw the Queen of Hearts, and it was so cool because they had flowers everywhere, and they would turn red after being white.
Then we walked into this area that was downstairs that was like real squishy, and there was just puffs of smoke going on everywhere, which led us to a little pathway where we saw Mufasa and like the Lion King.
It was the hyenas. It looked pretty cool. They had the projection against the rock, and then afterwards, it was one of my favorite parts where there was like the projection of lights all over the trees, and I'm not sure if it was a projection or the trees moving, but it just all looked to sway all at once.
Very trippy. I think the stuff on the trees, like the fireflies or whatever it was probably my favorite part. I give it a 9.3.
You know what? I'm gonna give it a 10, 2 thumbs up. Highly, highly recommend.
Okay, so what are we gonna do now?
I'm not sure, so stay tuned. We're still looking at the map and deciding if we want to do some more trick-or-treating or if we want to hit up some shops.
Sippy cup secured.
So we're back home from the Oogie Boogie Bash. It was so much fun. We actually ended up going with family, so we didn't get to record everything, but we thought it would be kind of cool to show you guys the parade, and because it was so loud, we figured this way we can let you guys know what we thought about it as it's going by.
It was extremely loud, and there was really no way to catch audio because all the music, of course, is going to be copywritten. So we're going to go ahead and watch it along with you guys and do a little bit of commentary.
Ooh.
As you see right here, this was the beginning of the parade where the Headless Horseman made his entrance. People were kind of talking about what was going to go on during the parade, and it seemed as though it was just going to be this Headless Horseman, and it was probably like 45 seconds max, and then they shut down the street, and it seemed as though the parade was over. So people were kind of upset at this point.
I thought the Headless Horseman was so cool. That was probably one of my favorite parts.
But then about 15 minutes later, as you could see, Mickey and Minnie came out. They were dancing, having a great time. You can see it was pretty packed. I wouldn't say it's the most packed I've ever seen California Disney Adventure. However, it was very booming, as they say.
And this was a 10 o'clock showing, so I'm sure that the 7:31 was even busier. But I liked how Mickey had his part, and then Minnie had her part with the girls, and they had their little dancing routine.
It was very cool. And then the floats were very awesome. I'm not the biggest Disney dude necessarily, but they definitely know how to throw a parade. They know how to create some amazing visuals. So this was the Mickey and Minnie float. And coming up next, we will see the next float, which, who is that?
So this is actually the mayor from The Nightmare Before Christmas. And he is, if you guys don't remember, he gets in his car when Jack is lost. And so he's looking for Jack. But in this parade, he was screaming, "It's Halloween time." And it was really cool. I'm actually just blown away at what Disney can create. And this one was something that shocked me. I didn't realize that they were going to do this one.
I can't even imagine if I saw that driving down the street. You know what I mean? What I would think. It would be very trippy, very cool. And then coming up here, because I'm not so familiar, it just looked like Dracula's or something like that.
So these are the vampires from Nightmare Before Christmas, and they're amongst the group that are looking for Jack, and they can't find him. So if you guys are familiar with Nightmare Before Christmas, these guys are definitely recognizable, and they're going ahead along before we get to Sally and Jack.
And as you can see, the way that they were operated is people were behind them with like push bars and they were making them dance and whatnot. And I feel like this was the star of the show for most people. This is Jack Skellington and who?
Sally.
Sally, yes. Very cool float. I love the way that they use the lights. And the music, again, at this point, the music changed a little bit. It almost sounded like an Iron Maiden song or like something very metal and cool. So this was probably my favorite part of the parade, just for the visual and the audio aspect of it.
I love this, and fun fact, because Beetlejuice came out, Catherine O'Hara was the voice for Sally as well as Shock, and she sang the actual part of Sally's song as well.
Yeah, and as you saw right here, I put in a little clip of the people that were walking by, just because I thought it was funny. Every time a float goes by, they let people through. It's like a huge bombardment of individuals trying to get across the parade lines. But now we are looking at people doing ballroom dancing, but I feel like, are they supposed to be dead?
This is the dancers, you know, when you go onto the Haunted Mansion, they have that dining area and they're dancing. So we have the Traveler, which his name is Phineas. Then we have Gus, that is also known as the the prisoner. And then we have, I believe his name is Ezra, and he is the skeleton. Fun fact, the Traveler was inspired by John Candy and Chris Farley.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. If you got half of that right, I'm extremely impressed, but it sounds like you know what you were talking about.
So I thought these guys were really cool, the grave diggers. I thought they looked pretty neat.
It was pretty cool how when they would, I don't know if I got it in the shot necessarily, but they would scrape the shovels along the ground and you would see sparks flying up. Very cool. And these guys were pretty scary. What is this?
You know, I believe that this section was from the Princess Tiana's movie, and I haven't seen that movie in so long, so I'm not quite sure what they are. But that movie is like held in New Orleans, so I'm sure that it has something to do with the bad guy who is known as like the Shadow Man, and like he's essentially a voodoo witch doctor.
Okay, yeah. Cool. And this, again, I'm not familiar, but I love the use of black lights throughout with the paint. It's very luminescent. And being there, hopefully it transfers over to the video, but very visually stimulating. Do you know who this is? Is this from the movie that we were just talking about?
Yeah, so he is the Shadow Man. And he is, like I said, the voodoo witch doctor. So that's why you see like the tarot cards and the mask. And so it kind of gives you that, you know, that feeling of voodoo.
Okay, very cool. Very Disney. I mean, is Disney into voodoo? I didn't know that. And this is Ursula. I know who Ursula is from one of your favorite movies, The Little Mermaid. And people are going nuts for Ursula. I think this was the biggest round of applause that I heard up until this point.
I mean, Ursula is a baddie. You know, everybody loves an Ursula. This was probably one of my favorite parts because as you guys can see, it's all of like the evil villains. So you have the Queen of Hearts, you have Hook, you have Claude Frollo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and you also have Jafar. You even have, you know, Cinderella's stepmom and stepsisters. So there's a handful, and I just thought that was so cool.
I thought they were all from Alice in Wonderland, to be honest with you, while I was there. And then this, if I'm not mistaken, because you can see the people behind this float kind of ushering it in. This was the very last float of the night. Who are we looking at right here?
So we are looking at Rapunzel's mom, and then we have Cruella de Vil, and we have the Queen from Snow White. I really love this float. I feel like the detail, again, Disney always knocks it out the park. I love the lighting and just everything. If you guys could hear the music, it went along perfectly with this float as well.
And there is the Cheshire Cat. He's from Alice in Wonderland. I know that for a fact. One of my favorite Disney movies. I've only seen it like 2 times when I was younger, but visually it's just very cool and trippy. And then behind him, you can see these women. I don't know if they're based on a character from a movie, but they got the rope, and that signifies the very end of the parade. But it was, what, like 5 or 6 floats, something like that?
Yeah, I honestly really did like this parade. I did feel like they could have added more characters because they really go off of, you know, The Nightmare Before Christmas, but they do have a lot of Hocus Pocus stuff. So it would have been cool to see the Sanderson sisters there or some kind of float along with like Hocus Pocus.
I was very disappointed they didn't have a Hocus Pocus float. However, as you saw a little bit earlier in the video, I just put a snippet of it, but you did get a Hocus Pocus related sippy cup.
So here is a sippy cup.
Wow.
She is so cute. She lights on the bottom. Her little feet are so cute. So here, her head comes off, and you can kind of pour your drink in there.
Which we did not pour a drink into it. I'm kind of grossed out, honestly, by putting something in there and drinking out of it. And I guess we also didn't want to wash it. So, you know, there's that.
Yeah, I think we just kind of wanted to keep it for more of like a memento. So it was really cool, and it has like a handle that you could carry it.
So are you going to actually carry that around at some point, or is this strictly like a collector's item for you?
Just a cute little memento for my first, you know, Oogie Boogie Bash.
Very cool. So I guess I didn't really give the parade a grading. Again, I'm not overly into the parades at Disneyland. This is probably the 2nd or 3rd one that I've seen in its entirety, but I'm going to give Disneyland an 8.7 on this parade. I was very captivated, extremely excited that it wasn't just the Headless Horseman. I would have felt robbed of my time if that was the case, but shout out to Disneyland for putting it on. I had a good time watching it.
Yeah, I love the parade. I probably would give it around the same rating as Jared, maybe do like an 8.8. I feel like
So 0.1 more. You liked it just a little tiny bit more.
a little bit.
Like 1% more.
But I am a huge fan of the parades for Disneyland. I wish that they would do something like this for Villains Day. I know it's not like, you know, an official Disney day that they do, but it would be really cool if they did something like that because people just love the villains and kind of get off on that. But I think overall, what did you think about the Oogie Boogie Bash experience?
I was a little bit disappointed by Oogie Boogie Bash in its entirety. And the reason is we were talking actually with your sister's boyfriend afterwards, and he mentioned a great point, which is they really should have done this at Disneyland and not Disney California Adventure, just because there would have been so many more opportunities for them to elaborate on the event. In Disney California, they did have the lines, which I believe you saw one or two of those, where you trick or treat. They give you a couple little pieces of candy. It's cool enough, I guess, if you're like a little kid, or maybe you're just having a nostalgic moment because you probably haven't trick-or-treated in a while if you're an adult. But other than that, it was really just Villains Grove and this parade. Everything else was essentially the same. So I was kind of hoping there would be a little bit more going on. And it's not like it's free. You do have to pay to go there. It's like well over $150. So I enjoyed going the one time to say that I did. However, I don't know if I would go again necessarily. And I would only really recommend you go if the things I just said sounded very appealing to you. If you don't care about trick-or-treating and getting some candy, we just showed you the parade and you saw Villains Grove. So if you want to see those things in real life and you're like a huge Disney fanatic and you love Nightmare Before Christmas, maybe it's for you. But for me personally, I'm going to have to agree with her sister's boyfriend that they definitely should have had it at Disneyland. And I think that would have added so much element to the event itself.
You know, I did enjoy it, but I do feel like I wish that there was something more. Along with the treating lines, I think that the trick-or-treating lines are cool because each one had like some form of animatronic or little scene that you could walk by. But I just thought that as someone who had never gone there before, I expected it to be a little bit more. They did have characters, little areas so you could take a photo with them. I did think a Villains Grove was really cool, but again, I just feel like there was a little bit more for, especially for the price that you pay. So I think overall, I probably would rate it as like a 7.8.
Did I rate it?
No, but I just did.
Well, it would be like a 6 for me if I already rated it. Maybe I'm being inconsistent. But on that note, we really hope you guys enjoyed the Oogie Boogie Fest. Again, we did go with family, so it wasn't as much filming as maybe we would have done if it was just the two of us, because for the most part, we did want to enjoy time with the people that we went with. However, we do have a very special announcement in this video.
You sure do. Why don't you tell us?
So as you know, a few weeks ago, we announced our first ever giveaway, and it was for the cartoon cars, just to kind of give you guys a little reminder of how cool they are and what they look like. And by the way, this one right here is evidently extremely popular. If you go to any Targets or anywhere that sells them, this is always the one that's sold out first and worth quite a bit of money on eBay. So I do have one of these as well as 4 other of this series. A couple of them, which you could see on the back of the packaging here. There was over 500 of you that entered this giveaway via commenting cartoon on that video. And I put all of the names on a website. It's called wheelofnames.com. And I'm gonna go ahead and post pictures of the winners' names right here, just in case maybe I say it wrong. And I did manually put all of these into the system. So if I spelled it wrong a little bit, don't worry. What I am gonna do, however, is go through those comments, find the winning comment, and I'm gonna put you won, and then you guys could DM us. You guys could get back to us via the comments, but we will definitely figure out how to get you these prizes. And the first winner, drum roll please, Get Slayer 9145.
What? Congratulations.
Very cool. You're actually going to get the Impala since you were the first winner. The next winner is Kimmy H 1663.
All right, Kimmy. Woo!
The next winner is a Gallagher 914.
Like Shameless? A Gallagher?
914. Number 4 is going to be Lynn K 7656.
All right, Lynn K.
And I never realized how many YouTube names have numbers at the end of it, but I do appreciate that because as I was typing them into the site, if it ended with a letter, it wanted to autocorrect the whole thing, so I had to re-put a ton of the names in. But evidently, if you have a number at the end of your name, it doesn't make you autocorrect. So Shout out to all you guys with numbers in the names. And the final winner is going to be Scruffs1537.
All right, I am so excited. Our first official giveaway. Congratulations to all of the winners.
And you know what? I'm going to do a bonus winner.
What?
Kim Glover 6111, just because there were so many of you and I just want to give away as many as possible. You could expect a lot more than future giveaways, which we haven't decided our next one just yet, but it was very cool. We really appreciate all of you guys for commenting, for entering the giveaway. I can't wait for you guys to get your cartoon cars Series 1 and make sure once you get them, tag us on Instagram. I'm also going to be putting protectors on these, so don't worry, as they ship, they're not going to get damaged, and when you get them, they'll have a nice collector's blister pack, because that's how I would want to receive them, so I want to make sure that's how you guys receive them. And I just hope that if you're not already collecting diecast, maybe it sparks the collector in you and you start getting into Hot Wheels and Auto Worlds and all that cool stuff, and we can hunt together. But on that note, I think that's going to do it.
That's going to do it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.